Okay, this video is how I dropped the tank and changed the fuel pump. This is a 1998 body style. It's actually a 1999 truck, but it's the 98 body style. So I think it's what, 94 to 98, it's all the same. That's a 1500C, which means it's a two-wheel drive. Okay. What I did, I did it myself without any help. Now I watched a bunch of videos like everybody does before doing this, before changing your fuel pump. And some people made it look real easy, and some people made it look real hard. And I'm in the middle. A little bit more towards the easy side. Okay. I don't have a rack. I do have a rack, but it's occupied. But I didn't use a rack, I didn't use a transmission jack, and I didn't have a helper. Okay, if I had those, then I would say it was very easy. Okay. Some people said it was real hard. It took 3 people to put the tank on. I didn't find that. I did it myself. Just me. That floor jack to lift it up, little jack stands, and I got a little 2.5 ton jack. It's not in the video here, but that I use. You're gonna see it in the video to put under the tank, and a board. Okay, what I did, I laid under the truck. You see, this is limestone. I laid under the truck, and you see that's some plywood that's under that grill. I put that plywood under there, and that's what I used. Now, I pulled, as you're gonna see in the video, we had a blizzard in the middle of me working on this out here. I dropped the tank and we had a blizzard. 17 degrees, I waited till it got a little bit cooler. Warmer. Let it warm up a little bit, and then I came back out and I finished the job. And I got a step-by-step. The video is gonna be a step-by-step, exactly how I did it. Okay, exactly how I pulled it, and exactly how I put the fuel pump in, rewired it, fixed the lines, the whole works, the whole 9 yards. Okay. I did it myself, and I would say it's not a real hard job. It's not an easy job, but it's not real hard. I would say take breaks. You're gonna do it yourself, take breaks. I think what happens is, because I found myself trying to do this, you fight it. Get in there, you fight it. And when you try to fight it, it's gonna make it hard. You can have 3 people on there trying to fight it, and if you're fighting it, you ain't gonna get it. It's gonna make it twice as hard. Okay? If you find yourself fighting it, stop. Sit down and look at it, figure it out. Okay? Like I said, you're gonna see in the video, everything. Now, I'm gonna be putting a grill on this thing. You see, I wrecked it. Okay? It's got a salvage title, and I'm going to get a rebuild title on it. Okay? I'm having someone do the airbags. As you see, I need to change that fender, the hood, the grill, and the bumper. Okay. If you subscribe and hit the bell, whenever I do this stuff, you will be notified if you're interested in it. Okay. Now, I just got this grill in, by the way. I did a bunch of research on grills, looking around for a grill. I wanted something different than the grill that came with the truck. Although I like it. I like the 98, 97, 96. I like that style. But I like this better. This is a beautiful grill. Okay. I bought this in a package deal, so I got everything. Okay. Lights, bow tie, grill, side markers, reflectors, everything. Okay. That's an official GM grill. Bow tie. So look at the old one, how small it is. And kind of busted up a little bit too. But anyway, look at the size of that thing. But it's official GM, it's not aftermarket. Okay. Now this grill came with all the hardware, the mounting hardware. Okay. When I was looking at grills, a lot of them don't come with the lights. Okay. or the mounting hardware. Some of them come with the lights, but they don't have the mounting hardware. So I went to AutoZone to get the mounting hardware. By the time I bought the hardware for it, not including the chrome screws that go in these blinkers, not including that, just the hardware to put the side markers on and the reflectors on, would have cost me about $35. So by the time you buy the chrome screws, but then find all that stuff, by the time you do all that, you're gonna spend 45 bucks. And this came with the grill. Everything was mounted. Okay, now the lights wasn't mounted. I'm gonna add that. The lights came in a separate box. The lights are real heavy, and the lights actually go on the truck first, and then the grill goes on. So, it's got a plastic coating on it. But these came in a box packed in styrofoam. So the grill and the lights came in 2 boxes. The blinkers and the side markers and the reflectors were all mounted with all the mounting hardware. Didn't have to mess with it. Plug and play, I call it. That's the easiest way to go. I didn't have to run to town, run here, run there, order from here and order from that one. All came in one order. Okay. But anyway, I'll tell more about the grill later, and when we install it. Okay. And at that time, I'll put the link to where you can get a grill. Okay. So we're gonna install that grill. But I think I'm gonna do is, I'm talking about the fuel pump right now. I can tell. I kind of get off. I'm gonna pull everything. I'm gonna pull that fender. I'm gonna pull the grill, and I'm gonna pull the bumper. I'm gonna make a video about it, and I'm gonna do it all. You know, I'm pretty much pull the whole front clip off except for the other fender, the passenger's fender. Okay. The hardest part of this is gonna be that front clip is pulling that fender. Okay, I've done it before. Been years ago, but I've done it before. Okay. So I'll make another video. Like I say, there'll be more videos coming on this old truck as I get it going. I'm looking at several different things to do to this truck. I'm thinking about getting rid of the fuel injection and going carburetor. Okay, I can do that for about $1,000, but I'm not sure if I want to go that route. I might do that. I don't know. If I do, of course, I'm going to film it. All right. So the rest of this video is going to show you step by step how I pulled the fuel pump, replaced it, dropped the tank. Okay. So I hope this helps someone. So here we go. We're going to pull that fuel tank. And okay, here's a new fuel pump. And it also came with an electrical cord, which we're going to have to wire in. I was going to use heat shrink under there, but I'm kind of afraid to run a gasoline. So it comes with some terminals, if you can see, that you can squeeze. You don't have to use fire. Okay, but I normally would put heat shrink around this, and I also have some heat shrink terminals. They work off the heat. Here's some more, but I'm not sure if I'm going to use them because of the gasoline. It's like a lead in the middle, and you put your 2 wires in there, and you put your cigarette lighter on it, and it makes a real good connection. Then plus I'd use heat shrink on the outside. But like I said, we'll see. I don't think I'm going to do that. But anyway, okay. Go back to the other side. What we're going to do is, we're going to jack it up. Okay. I got a board. I'm going to crawl underneath there with a board. I got another jack I'm fixing to get with a board to hold the gas tank up. Got a couple of jack stands. And I'm going to, got my 3-ton jack on my jack right here. I got another jack, like I said, for the gas tank. I'm not going to pull that back wheel off if I don't have to. Some people, I've seen they pull the back wheel off. And you can put jack stands under it. I'm not working on a slab. Although I got 2 shops, and both of them are full. I got a 57 truck in one of them, and a bunch of other stuff in the other shop, so that's why I'm out here working in the gravel, limestone. So I'm not too excited about pulling the tire off and putting jack stands in the limestone, because it could give way. So that tire is going to be my defense in case the truck tries to fall. Okay, that's where we are, fixing to get on that and pull that fuel pump. This is a 98 body style Chevrolet 1500. Okay, we're fixing to do a fuel pump, and so what we're going to do is we're going to jack it up, and we're going to have another jack for the tank. We're fixing to get under there, and we're fixing to do this thing. So first off, I already went under there and I sprayed some of this stuff on the bolts. I did that yesterday. Okay. Now, what I'm starting with, this is 15 millimeter, is what you need. 15 millimeter, and I got an extension, and this is a 15 millimeter wrench right here. Okay. Now I'm gonna go into there with a couple of screwdrivers for the hose clamps, and the 15 millimeter is what you need. Okay. Okay, here we are under the truck. Okay, I put this jack here. This is a little 2-ton, a little over 2-ton jack, and a board. That's gonna be the whole of the tank. Now, of course I drained the tank. I siphoned it. Okay, now what we're gonna take off, you're gonna need a deep socket, okay, and an extension to catch the top of it. But you're gonna need it right here. The front of the truck is this way. Okay, the front of the truck is this way. This is the front of the tank. The front. Okay. I sprayed this with the penetrating oil a day or two ago, and yesterday again. And then you just undo them. Now, if you got an air wrench, it'd be great. Okay. All right, now, I'm gonna spray a little bit more. To get the inside, there's one here, it's 15 millimeter. Okay. Now I gotta take this jack back off, because this strap right here on the inside, which I'm fixing to take the jack out and show you, there's another 15 millimeter. Okay, and that's where you're gonna need the extension to get to it. Okay, this is a 1-foot extension. I had another extension around here, I don't know what happened to it. But anyway, let me let this jack down, and I'm gonna show you. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna undo those 2 bolts. Okay, the one right here, the long one, okay, and the other one, and that should let the tank start to drop down a little bit. Now, we got the filler hose right here. This is where you put your gas in. Okay, that's the filler hose. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna disconnect that. Now, I could disconnect it from the tank once the tank is down, or I can go along this line somewhere along here and disconnect it up in this area. Okay. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take those 2 straps off the tank and kind of lower it down. I'd rather disconnect it closer to this. Now this is a metal pipe. Okay. I'd rather disconnect it right under here. I don't know if I can see it. We can get under there. Okay, right here. I'd rather disconnect it here. Okay, then at the tank. If I can, I'll disconnect it here. If not, I'll disconnect it at the tank. All right. So let's do that. We're gonna let the jack down, and I'll show you the inside bolt. We'll start taking the 15 millimeter bolts apart, screws and nuts. Okay, I'm under the truck, and you can see that's the bed, the edge of the bed, and that's the back of the cab with lights coming through. Okay, so the front of the truck is in that direction,
Okay. And there's the bolt right there. Okay. The drive shaft is actually right there. So we're going to do this bolt and the strap, the front strap. Now, something else I'm looking at. As a bracket, the tank won't be able to go back far enough. That's the front of the tank. Won't be able to go back far enough to clear this bracket. Okay, and still have the hoses attached. And as you can see, the bracket is kind of, it's into the tank here. Okay. So I need to take this bracket off. So there's 2 bolts. Nuts. There's a nut here. That's 15 millimeter. And there's one on the other side of this brace. There's 2 on the other side of this brace. I'm gonna get on there and show you. They are right there. Okay, that's the front of the brace. And this is the back of this brace right here. Okay, so it looks like we're gonna have to pull that, or the tank is not gonna come out. So I'm gonna pull the back strap off first. Okay, and at the same time I'm gonna put the jack so it don't, there's no fuel in it. It should be pretty empty. It shouldn't be heavy. And I'm gonna put this 2-ton jack to kind of hold it. Okay, and I'm gonna pull these bolts out here and take this bracket out of here. Then that way I can drop the tank straight down. And then we'll go back and we'll look at this hose. Okay, that's where we are now. Okay, I got the small jack under the tank. I pull the strap, and I have the strap up, of course, this under the strap. Okay, that was a long bolt in that thing. Here it is right here. This is the back bolt. Okay, all right. I still didn't pull the front bolt, and I didn't pull these. All right. Now the tank, like I said, is empty, but watch. I'm gonna push up on the tank. There's probably not much weight on the tank. But the front is holding it. Okay. We're gonna back this off and pull these bolts out and pull this bracket out. Okay. Once these nuts out and this is out, we should be able to lower the tank down. And like I said, we'll do the hoses after that. Okay. That's where we are. Okay, I'll spray some more penetrating oil. And I got the ratchet on. It's a long bolt. So if you got air, go ahead and use it. Now, I do have air. And I don't think my air hose will reach this far. So I'm not even going to try it. There's just a couple bolts. Now I have this wrench also, like I showed before, it's 15 millimeter. Okay, it's got like a little ratchet on the end of it, you know what these are. Open end on one end. Somewhere we are. There we are. I'm gonna use that to pull these. Okay, so let's pull this down and see what it's gonna do. Alright. That's where we are right now. Pulling the fuel, dropping the fuel tank. Okay, this nut is hard to get off. Now what I'm having to do is, I'm backing it off. It gets real hard. So I do is I tighten it back up. That's a long bolt. It's been sitting there a long time without anybody turning it. So I'm going back with it, back and forth is what I'm saying. Now I've got it down quite a bit. Now that holds the front strap on. Okay, as you can see the strap. Okay, I'm going to continue to work it in and out, spraying, penetrating all. And it's getting easier. So that's where we are right now. Pulling the fuel tank. Okay, we got the front strap pulled. We got the nut off of it. Okay. tank feels like it's pretty light because I drained all the gas out of it. Now we're pulling these 4 bolts. And like I said, I'm using this little ratchet. I'm going to pull the 2 front ones. Then I'm going to come back and pull the 2 back ones. And that should take that bracket out of there. I'll work that bracket out. And then we'll lower the fuel tank and see about the hoses. Okay, we pulled the 4 nuts off, 2 in the front, remember 2 in the back. This is the front, this is the back. And the bracket just came right out. Okay, and I've heard people have a hard time getting the bracket down because there's fuel in the fuel tank and the fuel tank's not moving. But look at this fuel tank. It moves real easy. So the bracket is still connected to the strap, of course. It's all part of the strap. And now we're gonna lower the fuel tank down and see if we can get that little toe loose. Okay, I took all the weight of the jack off of the fuel tank. And the fuel tank, like I said, is empty, so it's nothing's pulling it down, and it's not coming down. Alright. Looks like the hoses are holding it. Okay. So next we're gonna start pulling those hoses so we can lower the tank. Okay, we got the tank dropped down. Now what we've had to do, okay, and the disconnect right here, there's 3 torque screws, T30s under them, which allowed me to push the tank over. Like I said before, this tank is empty. But I wasn't able to, I had to disconnect right here, where it goes into the tank. And by loosening that stuff up, it gave me another 6 inches. I could push the tank back this way 6 inches. Okay? Which allowed me to get to the clamps. Okay, now you can see the clamp right here? The clamps will put both of this big clamp that goes here. The hose clamp is from the top. Let's see if I can see the camera. From the top. So they were both put in from the top. So I'm from the bottom trying to undo this one from the top. Now this one I just disconnected. Okay. This one I got a bag on the end of it. But I just disconnected it from on this end. Okay. So I wouldn't have to fight it right here from the bottom. This one I had to reach around and undo it. Now what I did, I got a little wrench, okay? It's a little 5/16 wrench, okay? Now it has a ratchet on the end of it. Where are we? Okay, it has a ratchet, but I couldn't get the ratchet in to work it. So I had to do it this way for the big one. Once I was able to loosen it up enough, okay, I took a big screwdriver and a hammer, and I was able to turn it. Okay, and once it was loose enough where I could turn it, okay, I got my little bar, right here. Okay, I took this bar and reached up under there and just hit it, pulled on it, knocked on it until I got the big clamp turned all the way around where I could get a screwdriver on it. Then you have to back it up a bit because there's a part on this little flange that comes out that sticks quite a ways up. So I loosen the heck out of the clamp and push the clamp all the way back on the hose. Okay. Now the tank is resting on the ground, on a plywood board, but it's on the ground. And like I said, there's no gas in it. It's pretty light. All right, now I got to get to the hoses up there. All right, now I'm gonna try turning the tank probably up on the end. But now these hoses, to get to these hoses, I need a special little tool for disconnecting the hoses. So I'm gonna have to run to AutoZone or O'Reilly's, one of those places, and get that little tool so I can disconnect the the hoses. And of course there's electrical wire that goes up there. And once that's done, then I can pull the tank out further, where I can pull it all the way out really, where I can put the fuel pump in, rewire it, and put everything back together. So that's where we are. Like I said, I wasn't able to disconnect the hose. Now I disconnected the big hose. I disconnected it under here on this side, but I wasn't able to turn it. Those hoses have been on there forever, and they just real hard to turn. I was able to take a pair of pliers for the small hose and turn it to get it loose. So anyway, that's what we did. The bracket came up. Came off really. Everything came off pretty easy, except it was getting that clamp. That was the only thing. That one clamp gave me a rough time. Like I said, I wish I could have pulled it further back, but there was no. It wouldn't. The hose wouldn't disconnect. I didn't have no room to get to it. Is what I'm trying to say. To pull it, to get it down. So, okay. So that's where we're at. I'm going to get that tool. I'm gonna come back, turn this tank up on edge where I can get to it, disconnect those hoses. Okay. And pull the tank out. Like I said, we're gonna put the fuel pump in, and then I'm probably gonna put a little fuel in it, enough to test just enough to test the pump before putting it all back together. All right, that's what we are. That's better than pulling the bed, I can tell you that. Much better than pulling the bed. And that little jack, I really didn't need the jack because there's no weight. There's no weight in this tank. There's no gas in it. It might be a quart in it, maybe. All right. Gonna get those tools and coming back, and we're gonna finish her up. Okay, let me add something to this. There's a little ground wire. Okay. That's connected. You got to disconnect. See, one end's connected there, the other end is connected to the other hose. The other piece that comes through here. It's 10 millimeter, and you just got to disconnect that. Just thought I'd add that. All right.
Looks like the project is shut down for now. We have unexpected winter storm, and I'm not going to be working on this truck. Now I got the parts for the gas tank. The gas tank is still sitting under the truck, but this is a major little deal here. So we're going to let the snow all melt. It's going to be a few days, probably be a week or two, before I can get back to work on this old truck. That's where we are. And we've got a foot of freaking snow right here. No, we got more than that. 18 inches. Okay. That's where we are on the old truck. Okay. We got the tank out. All right. What happened was, okay, these are the lines that hold your tank on. When I say hold your tank on, that connect. There's three lines. This is just a push on that I undid a clamp. These two take a special tool. Okay, I went out and bought these tools. I didn't get a chance to use them because this is so brittle. They just snapped off. When I turned the tank sideways so I could get to it, like I was saying before, it just, they just snap right off, real easy. I unplugged these. These are just regular plugs. There's two of them. They're different, so you don't have to worry about mixing them up. Although I have another piece for the new fuel pump, another wire, so I'm gonna have to rewire that. So that's where we are. So I didn't get the chance to use all these little tools that I bought. It's supposed to slide on there and allow you to pull your line off. Like I said, they just snapped. Okay, there's a snap ring on here.
we're gonna clean this up. In fact, you can see this. You can see the little holes for the snap ring. What I'm gonna do is clean all this top so trash don't get down in the tank. I'm gonna pull the snap ring and lift the pump out. Okay. Notice this rust. I'm gonna put some rust kill on there while I got the tank out. But this thing is so old, I guess it's brittle and it just snaps. That's where we are. We're gonna get the snap ring off and then we're gonna look inside the tank and change the pump. Okay, I put the fuel tank on the tailgate. It wasn't that heavy. If you've got to pull fuel, you'll need a lot of help to do this. But I was able to do it myself. And it feels like it's got a few gallons in it. Not much. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to blow all this out. Kind of looks like a snap ring. Let me get my snap ring tool and see if I can get it off. It looks like a snap ring. It's got two holes right there. It doesn't unscrew, I don't think. Let me check it out and I'll get back with you. Okay, yeah, it's definitely a snap ring. You see it right here. Okay, but I got more trash around here, so I'm gonna do is I'm gonna scrape this trash, blow it up before I pull the fuel pump out. Okay, we pull the fuel pump out. The hose broke off of it coming out. Looks like it's falling apart. Down in the tank, you can see it's completely filthy. It's got grime, it's got all kind of stuff down in there. And I see a green ball laying in there, a piece of hose that came off the fuel pump. One that wasn't working. So what we're gonna have to do now is we're gonna have to clean all this out of here. As you see, there's hardly any gas in there. This is definitely full of trash. Okay, how that got in there, I don't know. So we're gonna start cleaning out the fuel tank. Okay, this was not a daily driver that all of a sudden the fuel pump went out. This truck has been sitting over 10 years. So you're probably not going to find what I'm finding. But it definitely needs to be cleaned out. Got some gas fumes coming out of it. I'm going to do, I got a rag, I'm going to cover it with this rag. This old shirt that I have. And I'm gonna fix the tank with the outside of the tank with a little rust killer. And it looks like it could rain. At least it's not snowing. And what I'm gonna probably do is just move this whole outfit into my shed where I can work on it. And I can clean it up, and then I can install the new fuel pump and take care of this rust thing, and then I'll come back and rewire. Now the other parts of the fuel pump are still on the hose. The little parts that broke off, I was telling you about earlier. Okay. These parts are still on the hoses. So I'm going to have to use my little tools to take them off. Then we're going to rewire it. But fuel pump is definitely bad, I might say. Okay, probably gonna move it in my shop because it looks like it's gonna rain. I'm gonna start cleaning it. I'm just gonna use my hands, stick in there with a lot of paper towels, wipe up everything that I can, and then we'll go from there. All right, that's where we're at. We're gonna clean it. I know you don't want to watch me clean it, but we're gonna clean it, and we're gonna install the new pump, clean up all this edge, this rim, put the new pump. And I was worried about getting a little dirt down in there. Okay, where we at? Okay. I've been reaching down in the tank and pulling out. This is just what I could reach. This is rust. That's the inside of the tank. That's just what I could reach. It looked like it was all right in the middle for some reason. So, now I'm either going to get another fuel tank. Okay, I'm going to see how bad this one is. We'll get another fuel tank, or I'm going to treat it with a treatment. I have all this stuff. Is there an airplane? I have all the helicopter. I have all the chemicals and all the stuff to treat the inside of the tank. I already have that because I've done it on other tanks. And we're going to take it apart. After they take it apart, we're going to clean it with the water. We're going to flush it out best we can. We're going to inspect it, and then we're going to see if it's worth repairing. See, the tank wasn't leaking. Now, I don't see any holes right here. That's real rusty. There was rust flakes on the inside behind here. Okay, that's where we are. We're going to take a water hose to it, and we're going to clean out all the gunk and trash. And I'm going to price the tank. It's probably going to be cheaper. It cost me about $100 to coat the inside of it. And I'll make that decision if it's going to be worth it. Spend the $100 recoating it, or get another tank. And to get a tank, the shipping's almost going to be $100 probably. Well, let's clean it out and we'll see how bad it is. Like I said, I got a mirror, a flashlight, and all that, and we'll see. We'll inspect it, and if it looks like it's when you want to replace it. Now this truck is a 98. It's actually 99, like I said. And I want to drive it a little bit more, so I don't know, I might just put a new fuel tank in it. So we're gonna have to make that decision. Well, let's take it to the water hose and clean it out. So we're just gonna let it drain. I took out as much as I could, and wasn't hardly any gas in there. So we're not worried about the fire or anything too much. And there's a lot of water going in it. We have a lot of water pressure, or I should say volume. Water's pouring out the top there and also under there. I'm gonna let it go a little bit longer. I'm gonna play with the hose, push it in and out in different areas, to push it in and out to try to stir up any trash that's in there. We're gonna drain her out and see what we got. I found this was in the bottom of the tank. That hose was part of the fuel pump. This is another, looks like a little hose. I'm not sure what that's for. Might be evidently a fuel pump. There's a green ball in there. Okay. Now this is what's called a rollover ball. To me it's kind of small. What it's supposed to do, if you roll your truck, okay, this ball is supposed to go and stop the fuel, I'm guessing through here, coming back out. How would the ball find that place? I don't know. It was a thought. I guess the thought that counts. Well, I took this off. This is just a plastic cover protector for the tank. Bottom of the tank actually looks good. The galvanizer looks good on the outside. So we're not worried too much about the outside of the tank. We're worried more about the inside tank now. So we're gonna let it rinse a little bit, and I'm gonna clean a little bit more. I'm probably gonna put a little soap in it. In fact, I know I will. Clean it out with some soap. If I do the chemical thing, that's a whole nother process. If I decide to do it, I already have the material, about $100 worth of material. But I already have all the material to do it, the acids and the different things. And beans I have them, and I might use them. They actually were bought for a 57 Chevy truck. I got a 57 Chevy gas tank, and I want to go back with the same original behind the seat tank for now. And the tank, the 57 tank is in real good shape, but I figured I'd give it a coating on the inside. So that's why I have that material. And if I use it on this tank, I'll just buy some more for the 57. So we're gonna let it run a little bit. We'll get a little soap and clean it out a little bit, and we're gonna go from there. We're gonna see if we can inspect the inside of this thing. Okay, I've been running a lot of water through it. I got it down to clear water finally. I'm still getting rust out of the tank. I've been sloshing it around with just plain clear water and turning the tank over. See how the tank goes up like this? Okay, so when you turn it over, this is the lowest point. And I'm getting rust out of it. I got a lot of it, still got some in it. So what I did, I filled the tank about half full, maybe a little more, and put a bottle of rust in there. Lime and rust. Okay. I use this on the other gas tanks when I clean gas tanks. I use this to clean it before I put a coating in it. I'm not sure if I'm gonna put a coating in this tank or not. I'm still debating on it. I can get a tank a little over $100. By the time I get it delivered to my door, pay taxes, and everything, you're looking at a little over $200 for a brand new tank. So I decided not to put a whole bunch of money in this truck until I get it running. So the truck hasn't been running, other than me putting fuel in the throttle body. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm letting this stuff soak good. I'm going to clean it out as best I can with this air hose. This water hose. I'm going to fill it all the way up. I've got it about halfway. I'll let this stuff soak. And then I'm going to fill it all the way to the top and let it soak some more. Then I'm going to clean all that out of there. Now, I was able to get my hand down in here. Okay. And this way, and with the hose, I was able to squirt it. We have a lot of pressure here, like I showed you before. And I spread it both ways. This way, this way. I flipped the tank around. Okay. And did the same thing. Okay. And like I said, we're letting it soak now. I'm going to do that, clean it real good, clean it up and rinse it real good with water. I'm going to let it air dry. Okay. And then I'm going to see if I can get in there and inspect the tank. Now, it definitely needs a coating inside, but I'm not sure if I want to put it in there. The coating is $100 by the time I do everything with the coating. And I can get a tank for a little over 100, plus 100, probably 100 in shipping, I'm guessing. $60, $70 in shipping, probably. So I'm not sure if I want to put any more money into this truck until I get it running. Well, I could ride it around a little bit. And I still got the airbags to get fixed. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to clean this tank out best I can. Put it all back together. Put the new fuel pump in, of course. And take it down to the shop and have the airbags put in. And then I'm probably going to have to do brakes. You know I'm going to have to do brakes and all that stuff. So before I go to putting a whole bunch of money in it, I want to make sure I can get the airbags fixed. And I can always go back and change this tank and the fuel pump. This wasn't a $200 fuel pump. Okay. I pay way less, way less for the fuel pump. So I can get another fuel pump for $50. I mean, deliver it to my door. Okay. So if I clog up the fuel pump, mess up the fuel pump, I'll just put another fuel pump in it and I'll put a brand new tank in it. But I want to make sure I get it going first. And like I said, once it's running, get the airbags in. Got to bring it to the state police and have it inspected. Okay. Get a construction title on it. Of course, got to get insurance on it. And then I'll keep running it like that. And if I have a problem with the fuel, I have a towing service. I'll just have it towed home, and I'll pull the tank and put. It's not hard to do. I showed you it's not hard to pull the tank. And I'll just put another tank if it starts leaking. Okay. We'll get a little service out of it without putting a whole bunch of money in. Like I could go with a new tank. I'm kind of debating on it, and I'll be done with it. So I'm still kind of debating on it. So as far as right now, that's what I think I'm gonna do. We're gonna let it soak, clean it out real good. I'm gonna show you how we're gonna put the fuel pump back on. And I'm probably sorry I didn't change the tank, but oh well. I might end up selling the truck. So we're gonna see. All right, that's where we're at. We're letting it soak. It's the Lysol, lime and rust. Like I said, I've done tanks before, and that's what I use to kind of clean them out. Plus acid, and I've got a tank kit that coats the inside of the tank, the whole works. So I still might do that. I don't know. I'm gonna fill it with water, totally to the top, and we're gonna see if we got any leaks. I'm gonna let it sit here for a day or two, see if it's leaking in the water. But I don't think it will. If it does, well then we'll just get another tank. That's where we're at now. Decided to go with another bottle of this Lysol lime and rust. We'll fill the tank all the way up. It's coming out the fill line here. So that's as high as we can go, which is just about to the top. We're going to let it soak overnight. Now, something else I want to say. While this is going on, okay, here's the fuel pump. Here's the old fuel pump. While we got it soaking, what we're going to do is we're going to rewire our fuel pump. Okay. If you look, this is the old fuel pump. You see they got a square electrical connection there. And there's 4 pins in there. It's square. And then you got one that's oval shaped, I guess you'd call it. It's got 3 pins in it. Okay, that one you don't have to change, the one with the 3 pins. The one with the 4 pins, the square one, it's different on the fuel pump. And remember before I said that 2 of these broke off. Okay. So what we're going to do, okay, so they're still on the hose, the little pieces that broke off. Okay, what we're going to do is, this is the new fuel pump. Okay. And see how this connection is not square? Okay, that's the wire and harness. We have to change the harness. So now with no gas in it, with no gas tank, I'm gonna get under there and I can put some heat to the wires. And I can use this. I can use these. I like to use these. They have lead in the middle of them. You can heat them up with a cigarette lighter or a heat gun, whatever. I use a cigarette lighter. And I'm gonna put some heat shrink around the wires. Okay. So another thing I'm looking at. Actually, this is the first time I've changed the fuel pump on this particular type of vehicle. I've changed them on a little S10. But you notice they have this color-coded yellow and blue. Okay. When you take the cap off, you won't have the color coding. And red. And the red is the center one. So I'm not sure if these are the same size. I don't think they are. Well, no, they're not the same size.
I was gonna say, well, you can mix them up. Okay. Well, I don't have to do what I'm gonna show you next. I have some yellow and blue tape, and I was gonna figure out what size hose it was and put the yellow and blue on my hose. Then that way I'll know. In fact, I might do it anyway. And that way, when I get under there to put it all back together, I don't have to fumble around trying to figure out what size hose or whatever. So I'm gonna do that while waiting. And the main thing is to rewire this for the new fuel pump. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna get on there. We're gonna rewire it. Okay. And get those other pieces of hose off of it, so that we can. Those other fittings pieces that broke. So then when we go back, all we got to do is just clamp it, snap it back together. Okay? So that's where we are right now. We're gonna let it soak. We'll let it soak for, like I said, overnight. And if there's no rain, the tank is gonna dry. If there's any leaks, we'll see them. I took the little cover off. This is just a plastic cover that goes on the bottom of the tank. Okay. That's where we are. Oh yeah, this Lysol stuff. This came from the dollar store. Dollar General, I think it is. Yeah. So you can get that. I always use that for my food gas tanks. That's something I need to really clean out. It's like a gel. Okay, like I said, I put 2 cans in here, or 2 bottles, whatever. So we'll let it soak. We're gonna go from there. All right. That's where we are. Next, we're gonna climb under there and pull those, repair those lines, get those lines ready for the new rebuilt tank. All right, here we go. Okay, here we are. This is where we're at on the fuel tank. I let this stuff, the Lysol lime stuff, soak, and it did a real good 24 hours. Did a real good job. Okay, and what I did, got my flashlight and an inspection mirror. And I stuck the mirror down in there. And you probably won't be able to see. But, as I figured, and as everyone who's watching this video figured, the whole inside of this thing is pitted with rust. Okay? I mean, after all, this is what I got out of it. This is rust. Tell how thick that is. All that rust came out of the tank. So it is pitted quite a bit. So, what I'm going to do, I'm not going to use my stuff on this tank. Okay, I'm going to keep it for my 57 Chevy tank, which is sitting right there, which I'm going to talk to you about. So anyway, I was thinking it would cost me $250 to have a tank delivered to my door. At least $250 to $300. Okay, I found a 25-gallon tank that'll fit this truck. Okay, same exact tank. Delivered to my door. That's including the taxes, shipping, and everything. For $168. Okay? So for $168, I'm not going to put $100 worth of chemical in it. Okay? So it's kind of a no-brainer. I think the shipping was like $35. Taxes was $17. So anyway, so that's what I'm going to do. So the new tank is on order. So meanwhile, while the new tank is on order, I'm going to rewire the for the fuel pump, and I'm going to put fix those lines. What I'm trying to say, take the broken pieces out of those lines. Okay, I'm gonna film all that. Okay, this is my '57 Chevy truck gas tank, and that's why I bought all that stuff. It's an etching thing. It's a metal etcher. You use muric acid. You use a sealer. There's a sealer that you can come back, and if you even have leaks in this tank, which this tank does not leak, just go behind the seat The tank goes behind the seat in the old truck, old 57 Chevy truck. That's another video, some more videos I'm gonna show me working on that thing. I want to go back with the original tank. It's in real good shape. It was in the cab, so I didn't paint it or anything. That's how it looked. Okay, I got inside of it and checked it out. Looked inside and pulled the sending unit out. Okay, and I ordered another sending unit, and it looks good. The tank actually looks good. So I got some metal etching. I got some metal cleaner. I got some metal sealer. I'm using muric acid, baking soda. It's a whole process. Okay. And I'm gonna do this little tank right here. I'm guessing it's 15 gallons, maybe. About 15-gallon tank, I think. This is a 25-gallon tank. So the new tank's on its way. So that's where we are now. So I hem-hawed around about it and tried to get this tank good. Trying to save a few dollars. A lot of times you don't save any money by trying to save a little. You spend $100 to save $5, is what it ends up being. So now I'm gonna use all my chemicals and my etching and my sealer, my tank sealer on the one for the 57 Chevy truck. New tank on order. New tank comes in. The tank comes with a ring. Now I'm not sure about these little rubbers that go on here. I can heat this. I can take my heat gun and heat this up and pull these off and glue them to the new tank. If they don't come with the rubbers, but it does come with a ring. Okay, and the new fuel pump will go right in. So that's what we're doing. We're waiting on that new tank. And that's how we're gonna do it. And it's gonna be another video on the 57 Chevy truck tank. I'm gonna make a video on exactly how I put this stuff in it. I've done it before in these old vintage. It's worth it if you got a vintage tank, I guess, if you want to keep your old tank. Although you can buy another tank, but these tanks aren't cheap. These 57 Chevy truck tanks, that's $200-300 for the original tanks. So it's gonna be worth it to etch this and coat this with the sealer. Now, like I said before, it'll also stop leaks. There's no leaks in this tank. No leaks. But we're gonna run the etching through it, so that's where we are now. So now we're gonna go into the truck and we're going to disconnect, take our little tool, and we're gonna disconnect the broken off, remember the broken off pieces of line, using our little tool. Meanwhile, while waiting for the new tank to come in, we're also going to rewire it. All right, that's where we are now. How we do it here? Go ahead and buy a tank, Bob. Thank you. Okay, this came with the fuel pump. Okay, this is going to show us either option 1, 2, or 3. Okay, any other ones? Yeah, 1, 2, and 3. Okay, it depends on the wiring of your vehicle. Now, here's your vehicle, and here's your plug, here's the plug right here. Okay, the wires on the plug. Okay, we have the third one here. Okay, we have a black. This is coming from the vehicle. We have a black, a purple with a white stripe, a gray, and a small black. Okay, the other ones are different. And if you look on right here, we have a purple, okay, with a stripe, the gray, a small black, and a bigger black, right there. Okay, I'll just strip the harness back a little bit. We're gonna cut them off right here, and we're gonna connect them. Now I'm gonna use heat. I'm gonna use a cigarette lighter. Tank's out of here. There's no gas anywhere around here. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna cut this, and we're gonna connect it, okay, according to this right here.
The big black goes to this big black. Their purple, which is here, goes to our purple with a white stripe. Their gray goes to our gray on the vehicle. And the fuel pump with this black stripe goes to our small black. So that's it. You pick your vehicle and what the wiring configuration is. It looks pretty simple. You definitely don't want to mix them up. Okay, I have some heat shrink and some terminals here. I got heat shrink, and I got these terminals here. Okay. I can't hold the camera and do this, so it's pretty simple. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna cut those 4 wires and connect them according to this. I'm gonna slide this heat shrink over the, where we at? Okay, I'm gonna slide the heat shrink over the wire, a little small piece, over the wire, before we get started. And we're gonna twist them together. And then we're gonna put this terminal. I'm gonna take a cigarette lighter and heat it up. That's gonna shrink. It's gonna shrink these terminals right here. Okay. If we ever use these terminals, I'd recommend them. It's got a piece of lead in the middle. That's where your wires are gonna go. It's got this is also heat shrink. That blue, and the whole thing will shrink down. Okay. Then after that's done, remember the little piece of this I have on the wire, I'm gonna slide that over the whole outfit there, and take my cigarette lighter and heat shrink that down. So we're gonna be waterproof. And it goes up on top of the gas tank. So that's where we are there. Okay. Okay. I cut the wires back a little bit more, pull the harness back. And as you can see, I cut the plug off and I stripped the end of these wires. Okay, and then this one, the plug that came with the fuel pump, I cut about 8-10 inches of wire off of it because it was real long. And I've got those stripped. If I can find the camera, I got those stripped. So now I'm just going to connect the wires as illustrated here. Like I'm putting heat shrink on first, and then I'm going to heat shrink the terminal, and then slide the heat shrink over, and do that. This is pretty simple. Most people have done this. Now you don't have to use these heat shrink connections that I have. The fuel pump comes with connectors. And if you prefer to use the connectors that came with the fuel pump, go ahead and do it. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and do that. Okay, I got the heat shrink on the wires. This is the plug. It came with the fuel pump. Got the heat shrink on the wires. Now we're gonna do the connection and do our other little terminals. We're gonna do 4 of these terminals. And we're gonna heat it up with a cigarette lighter, like I said before. Then we're gonna slide these over the whole connections and then heat this up, and it's gonna make a good tight seal. Okay, that's where we at. Okay, as you can see, I took the big black wire and did that one first. I'm doing that one first. And I twisted the 2 wires together. And I slid my terminal with the lead on it. I slid it up this way. And I have the heat shrink slid this way. So I'm just going to simply pull this down over the wire. I'm going to put the lead part right where the wires connect together in the middle. Okay, I'm going to heat them up, like I said before. Then this is going to slide over the whole thing. Okay, that's how I like to do it. Now you can just use regular terminals. I like to do it this way. Makes a better connection, and We don't have to worry about it. Okay. That's the first one done, the big black one. I'm not going to show you all every one of them, just to show you how we do it. Okay, there's a little bit too much wind out here for the cigarette lighter. So I got a little torch, a little propane torch. If you got one of those, that would definitely work. Okay. Or you can just crack the tumblers like we did before, like they're showing. So this is good to go, ready to go. Now after everything's done, I'm going to come back and I'm going to wrap the whole thing in black tape, the whole harness, all the way up to the plug. Okay, I'm going to put the other three on, and pretty much the same, exact same way. Okay, we got them all completed. You can see it's a nice job, very secure. Okay, now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna wrap the whole harness in with black tape. Okay, just regular electrical tape. Pull the harness back together, and that's it. Not hard to do at all. One thing I want to say about the torch, the propane torch, what you do is, benzene, whatever they call it, what you do is you take it and you put it real low. Small flames. Don't put a big flame because you'll burn through the wires. Just put a small flame. I like a cigarette lighter. And it worked great. Okay. Okay, we got it finished. Got it wired up. We wrapped it with black tape. We wrapped it pretty tight. And you can see it does a real neat job. Okay. Now, just ready for our tank to come in, which should be in tomorrow. And we can start putting it all back together. All right, next we're going to look at the lines that broke off. Okay, this is the old fuel pump. Remember, everything's brittle, and they broke off in the hoses. And I'm going to tell you, I had hell getting them out, but I figured out how to do it. I'm fixing to show you how we do it. If you happen to run into that, I talked to the people at Napa and the different port places and people that know. Talked to a mechanic. Nobody seemed to know what to do. One guy told me to replace the lines. Now I bought a bunch of these little things. This is to take the lines, the air conditioning hoses and regular lines. Now it's 5/16 and 3/8 are the two sizes on the Silverado. Okay. Remember the yellow? Yellow's the big line, blue's the small line. Red is a vent. You can see it's a vent because you can see right here. See where it hides vents? Okay. So now, I'm going to show you how we got it off. Still waiting on the tank. Should be in tomorrow. Okay. What we did, here's the lines. So I marked up the bigger one, the 3/8. I marked it with the yellow, the 5/16. I marked it with blue. Not that it makes that much difference. You can't really switch them around. So the lines were broken off into the end of it. You see they got those little clips. Okay, you see I got the lines out. Okay. And what I did, I tried these little plastic pieces. Now this is 3/8. And it's kind of flimsy. Okay. This is 5/16. And it's also kind of flimsy. It's made to stretch around the line. Okay. So what I did, I went out and I bought this tool right here. Now this is the same thing. It's a metal tool, 5/16 on one end, 3/8 on the other end. And it seems, I figured it would push it in better, which it did, but that wasn't the solution. So the way I did it, okay, that's one of the broken pieces. And there's the other one. Where are we? There's the other one right there. And as you can see, what I did, I screwed a screw into the broken piece, down into the hose. Now I was going to drill it. I thought about all kind of things. Then I made a mess. Some guy told me change all the hoses. Just change the hoses. Oh, a mechanic told me that. So anyway, what I did, I screwed this in here. Now, what you got to do is you got to push this in. Okay. Now, and you put this tool on it, and you push it in. It's got to be pushed in. Okay. If you push it in, okay, then you push your tool in, and then when you pull it out, okay, it just comes right out. Like I said, I did it to both of them. So I'm excited that I actually got that done. I didn't know what I was going to do. So if you ever run into that, just get you some wood screws and screw them in there. And so now we're ready. We're ready for the fuel tank. It should be here tomorrow. Now I have everything wired up like I showed before. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the fuel pump and I'm going to connect it to this, and I'm going to put it in a bucket. Connect everything up, connect the lines up, and I'm going to put it in a bucket and go. Well, I'm actually not going to. It's not like a wreck over there. I'm going to connect the lines up, and I'm going to try to pump fuel, start the car without the gas tank. Or at least plug these lines in and make sure the fuel pump is pumping. Okay, so that's where we are. So we're waiting on that tank now. But like I said, before installing the tank, we want to make sure that the fuel pump's working and the relay is good. Now we definitely needed the fuel tank changed. And not the tank, yeah, the tank and also the pump. The pump was bad, as you saw, and the tank was totally bad, so that had to be changed anyway. So to make sure the relay is good, to make sure everything's working. Now I bypassed the relay and I fooled with the relay, but I'm not an expert on all that stuff. So that's what we're going to do. That's our next step, is to get a bucket of gas, hook up the fuel pump, and see what we can get it to pump a little bit. Now I wouldn't recommend doing this. It's dangerous. Have a fire extinguisher handy if you're going to put it in gas. Be ready to have a fire extinguisher. I don't recommend it. You do it on your own risk, at your own risk. But that's what I'm going to do. All right, that's where we're at now. Okay, this is the old tank, and the new tank just came in. Ain't that pretty? Now the new tank, when I opened the box, it just came in yesterday. Alright, you could smell paint, and the paint was sticky, tacky. Paint was still tacky. So that tells me they just made this thing. It's not tacky now. It's been sitting here in the sun. But it was still had tacky paint on it, which doesn't hurt anything. But I stuck it, I put it back in this plastic container that covers the bottom. Okay, it's the exact same tank. Now it comes with a new O-ring. Okay, goes right there. Not O-ring, but a snap ring. And it comes with a new O-ring. Now the O-ring goes here. It's for if you order the tank and you didn't get a new fuel pump, and you just had a busted tank and you want to put your old fuel pump in, well, they come with a rubber. A big O-ring that you can use. So I got an extra one here, because the fuel pump comes with one of these.
Okay. So she's ready to go. I just got to put some hoses. Got to pull this and put the hose back on it, and she's gonna be ready to go in the truck. Okay, what I'm gonna try to do is get the fuel pump to run. Okay. What I'm gonna try to do is get the fuel pump and see if I can put it in a bucket of gas, like 4 inches of gas in a 4 or 5 inches in a little 5-gallon bucket, and see if I can get it to circulate. Now some say you have to have oil pressure for the fuel pump to kick on. Now when I crank this engine, oil pressure does come up after I crank it a little while. So my plans are I'm gonna get a bucket, I'm gonna connect the fuel pump under the truck to the wires, put it in 4 or 5 inches of gas in a small bucket, like a 5-gallon bucket. Then I'm gonna crank the engine, I'm gonna put a little gas in the throttle body. Now I'm gonna crank the engine and get it to fire and see if that fuel pump will work before we put it all back in the tank. Now hopefully it'll work that way. Like I said, some say you gotta have oil pressure or the fuel pump won't kick in. So if that don't work, then it's gonna be, we'll have to look at the relay. And there was no fuse that I could find for the fuel pump. There's no fuse in the fuse. And maybe under the hood they have one. That's true, I didn't look there. I looked on the side. Okay, let's talk about this right here. Okay, that ball was in the old fuel tank. Okay, it floats, and it's a hard plastic ball. Okay, and along with this little rubber somewhere, this little tubing. That's just a piece of real brittle tubing was with the ball in the old fuel tank. Now, I did some research. It's called a rollover. It's for two things, okay? It doesn't go right here. It doesn't go in the fuel tank. It actually goes into your connection going to the tank, okay? Now remember, I siphoned the gas out of this tank. Now probably when I was pushing the hose in, I hit the ball and pushed the ball into the tank. That's why I was able to siphon gas out of it. A lot of people say you can't siphon gas out of it because of there's a check ball in there. So evidently I knocked that check ball down into the tank. Okay? And I'm thinking that little ring, that little rubber piece that I had, I'm thinking this little piece was probably part of it. And that another couple little pieces of it. It's real brittle. It's like a tubing. Like a little bitty tubing. But anyway. It's called a rollover ball, and it's also anti-theft. It's like a check valve, and it doesn't go here, but it goes in this part of it. So evidently, when I kept pushing my hose down in there, and it did have some resistance on the hose, I just kept pushing it till it went into the tank. So evidently, I pushed this ball into the tank. Now, if the truck should roll over, okay, this will clog up, will slide up the hose, through the hose this way, it floats, up the hose this way, and stop gas from pouring out of the tank. Okay, so it's like a check ball, anti-theft, anti-gas theft, that is. Okay, so that's what that is. I'm not gonna put it back, I don't believe. I'm not worried about people stealing gas. They need it that bad, I'll give them a couple dollars. But as far as rollover, you never plan to roll it over. But anyway, that's the tank. She's beautiful, I'll tell you what. Still got the smell of fresh paint, and I'm glad I got the new tank. Cause I could have repaired the old tank like I was saying before. I did have the stuff I have will cover all those pot marks and everything that's in the bottom, in the tank itself, and stop any kind of leaks, which it wasn't leaking. And I could have done that. It got $100 worth of chemical, and I got this tank delivered to my door for what I said, $168. My grocery bill once a week is more than that. So I just quit eating for a week and I can pay for this tank. But anyway. Alright, that's where we at. Now we're ready to put in the beautiful Brand new fuel, and too bad you won't be able to see it after it's in the truck, man. All right. What we're gonna do is we're gonna see if we can rig up some kind of thing to pump that gas to the new fuel pump. So that's how you do it. Take out, when you're taking those push-on lines off, there's that little flange. A lot of people stick the tool in and try to pull it, and they can't get anything with it. You push it in that little 1/16 of an inch. What it does, it gets it off of this, like I said before, this little shoulder, this little flange deal here. It gets the little clamps I showed you, the 4 little clips. It gets them off of there, and then the tool goes in, and the tool holds the clips back when you pull your line off. Okay, it's that simple. If you just try to stick the tool in and pull the line off, it doesn't work. Doesn't work as good. People fight it, and they finally get it, and it's just that little flange is holding you against the clips. All right, I hope this helps someone. Okay. Like I said before, what we're going to do is we're going to put the fuel pump in a can of gas. It's a bucket of gas. And I got it plugged into 2 plugs. Okay. And just turning the key on, the yellow hose shot gas, you can see, way over here. And a lot of it. So the fuel pump is working. So now we're going to put the fuel pump in the tank. We're going to install it. Okay, we're going to install the fuel pump now into the new tank. Now, I want to say something that I took this, my compressed air, and I changed, like I should, if you saw before in another video, I changed the fuel filter. So, what I did, I disconnected the line. I blew out the line, in other words, with compressed air. Okay. So next I'm going to put it in. All right, all you have to do is snap your little float and sending unit. All you got to do is snap that in place. Just goes in that hole, and it's got some little snaps here. And this is going to tell you, it's going to read on your gauge and tell you how much fuel you have in the tank. Okay? Like I said, it came with an O-ring. I mean, no, it has an O-ring on it, I should say. Has an O-ring on it. Okay, it's going to have to go in. I'm going to stick this in first. Kind of work it in there. All right. It's going to be spring loaded. Now, these lines right here face where these lines were. Okay? And I'm just going to push it down in there. Okay. Get my snap ring paused and put my snap ring in. And then we'll be ready to install the tank. Okay, something I forgot to mention. This is the old tank. I'm going to install another hose. But I didn't get a hose, or I didn't get these little rubber pieces. The strap rods on. So I'm going to get my heat gun, and I'm going to heat those straps up and pull them off there and put them on the new tank. Also the hose. Okay, so that's where we are. All right, installing the fuel pump in a brand new tank. Okay, if you're having a problem with your fuel pump, putting the snap ring back in, okay, that's a common problem. Okay, what you need to do, if you have the type that screws down, you're better off. It's a lot easier. This takes a little bit of work to put the snap ring back in. Now, we got a brand new tank and a brand new fuel pump.
And we've been fighting this thing for an hour. We finally got it. Finally figured it out. Okay. You see the fuel pump's in. And the snap ring goes under these little tabs. That's 5 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 5. Now you got to get under all 5 of them. You got to push this down, and at the same time, do the snap ring. It's a 2-man job. I did it by myself. Okay, what I did, okay, get you an O-ring lubricant, some kind of O-ring. Don't use Vaseline, but get you something like, this is white lithium grease, of course. I use this stuff a lot. Okay, get some white lithium grease and put it around your O-ring, okay, and kind of start working that O-ring in there. It's going to be hard to get in there first, okay. You're going to think the springs are bottoming out, and that's the reason why it's not going down, but the springs aren't bottoming out. The springs can go a long ways, okay. So what you do is, like I say, you keep working that lithium grease. Don't put too much, but just put a little bit around the O-ring and also the seal. Now this is a fresh painted tank. All right, so you got a coating of paint on there. Okay. Now you keep working it down, pushing it down. Now what I used, okay. Of course I got snap ring pliers. You're gonna need that. Okay. And I got a big screwdriver right here to help push down on the spring. And it's mostly the O-ring that's holding you, okay? It's not really the springs, but the springs will push it back up. Okay, I use that. And I use this to kind of help get it in there. Okay? Like I said, it's good if you got help, if you got a helper, it'll go easier. But I was by myself. Okay. Now, the trick is, what you do is, like I said, there's 5 of these little tabs right here. See these tabs? Okay. There's 2 tabs that's almost under your inlet for your hoses, where your hoses hook up. Okay, so you want to put those, you want to get these 2 tabs in first. Okay, you do that by pushing down, okay? Like I said, I push down with this big screwdriver. Okay, kept pushing down, and I have that in one hand. And where's my other tool I had? Around here somewhere. Oh, here you go. And I got a small electrician screwdriver. Okay. And what I did, I pushed down on that. Okay, and kept working it back and forth, back and forth. And I used the little screwdriver to work this, get the ring started in there. And once I got the ring started in these 2, okay, now the reason I did these first because they're under this tubing rack, and it's hard to get to them. All right. Now I tried starting from this side right here. And I started this one first, and I got this one started, and I couldn't get any further. And then I came over here and started from this side. I got this one started, and this one started, and I couldn't get any further. So what I did, like I said, the 2 back ones, you start those first, and then the other 3 we're going to start later. All right, so once you get them started, that's started in there, okay? Then you come back and take your pliers, okay, your snap ring pliers, and you're gonna have to pull it in, okay, at the same time pushing down on this, and until you can get another one in, or another one. All right, I got them all in except this one right here. Okay, like so you count them, make sure you got 5. I got them all in with this one. So then I went back, okay, and all the rest of them are in. So I took the screwdriver, the electrician screwdriver, and the snap ring pliers, and I pulled it in a little, not too much to disengage it, and I used this just enough to clear this last tab. When this ring got just enough to clear the last tab, I pushed it down in there, okay, and it snapped in place. So, if you're having problems getting that ring on, which you probably will. Now, if you got the, like I said before, you got the type that screws on there, that's much better, much easier. I've seen people go under the truck and change these with the ring, the ring that screws in. All right, just so happens this one doesn't have the ring that screws in. It's a snap ring. Now, once it's in, you're good to go. Okay, but until you get to that point, you're gonna find yourself fighting it. I thought at first it was the wrong fuel pump, and it looked like the spring wasn't going down far enough. But what I did, I took it out here on the bed of the truck on the tailgate. I pushed it down on the spring and measured how far down it went. And so the springs wasn't stopping me. That's what I thought was stopping me. It was the O-ring. Okay. Like I said, lubricate your O-ring, but you're gonna have to work it in and out. Work it. With the lube on it, work it. Don't put too much lube. You can use an O-ring grease. I use white lithium grease. I wouldn't use Vaseline. Most people would like to use Vaseline. Vaseline will, I guess it'll mix with the gas. That makes a whole bunch of difference. So anyway, and then put that white lithium grease, like I said, I'm repeating myself, but keep pushing it in and out, till it works in. And it'll go in, and you can get it. It might take a little effort, but if you have a friend or two, it can almost take 3 people to do this, tell you the truth. Okay, that's how we got our fuel pump back in our brand new tank. Okay, we got the tank ready to go on. I put these rubbers on. I did not need my heat gun. I thought I would, but they just pull right off the old tank. Okay. Like I said, I didn't change the hose. So what I did, I put a mark on the hose right at the very top with a little chalk mark. And I have a hook tool for taking these hoses off, and I can't find it. So I just used a pair of channel locks to kind of loosen it up and pull it off. Then when I went back, put my little chalk on there. I went back, I put it pretty much straight up and down. And I put the clamp from the bottom. Remember, the clamp was at the top. And when I go back with this one, of course, it's going to be at the bottom also. All right, we're ready to go. Oh, when I glued these on, okay, what I did, I got some of this spray adhesive. Okay, you spray it on the tank and on the back of the rubber. And you let it sit a while. Let it sit a little while, and then when you stick it, put it on. It's like putting on a countertop. Countertop. It adheres. Okay, so we're ready to go. All right, we're gonna go into the truck, jack the truck up, get under there, and put the fuel tank in. Once it's been tested, it's ready to go. It's all installed. That's pretty much it. So now we're going under there and putting this tank on. Okay, this video is about putting the fuel pump in if you have a problem because you got a snap ring. If you got the kind of screws in, you shouldn't have that problem. The snap ring was really a job. So this is an old 98 body style. It's actually a 99 Silverado 1500. Okay, we changed the tank. We got a brand new tank. Of course, a new pump. Okay, we're fixing to go back in the truck with it. I got a bunch of other videos on this truck. Different things I've done to it. We restored it, putting it back on the road. It's been sitting 10 years. So if you have a problem with this, let me show you how you do it. Getting that ring back in there. Okay. So we're ready to go back in with the tank. But, so now let me show you how to put that ring back in that tank. Or the fuel pump. How to get it in there. You hear the birds? Got a pile of birds in this area. Okay, this video is on how we wired up
our truck with a new fuel pump. It's a different wiring. This is different than, it's a square wire on the other one. So we're going to show you how we did that. Okay. We're going to go into the truck and I'm going to wire it up. And we got instructions. And we're going to show you step by step. But I think it's the best way to do it. How to wire up the new fuel pump. And it's no big deal. All right. Let's go ahead and show you. Okay, we're going to install the tank. But before doing that, I'm going to take my wire brush. I'm going to go around the frame where the tank is going to hide, but I won't be able to get to. I'm going to put wire brush, kind of clean the dirt off of it. This is a rust converter. Okay. It's a metal primer and converter. I'm going to put that on there. Then I got some flat black. This is a flat black outdoor, indoor. This for metal, wood, whatever. This is just all, this is what I have here. I would have probably gonna get a better frame cover coating for the rest of the frame because I want to do the whole frame eventually. Once I get the truck rolling down the road, and I'm gonna put it on my rack and get under there and play with it. Right now, we're just gonna get under there with this wire brush, put a little converter in there, and a little bit of paint. And then we're gonna install the tank. We're gonna let it dry, go to breakfast, come back, and start installing the tank. Fixing to go in with the new tank. Okay, we got her under the truck. Okay, got it up on the edge. I plugged in the two electrical connections, make sure they're good and plugged in. Now that strap, tank's going to go forward a little bit. This is going to be in with the strap. Okay, but I just got it up on the edge where I can plug it in. Once I get it up, then I'm going to plug the lines in. I'll get it up just a little bit and plug the lines in. That way they're not in a bond. I want to pull on these plastic pieces, although they're not as brittle as the other ones. Okay, and there's all the hoses up there. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to turn the tank, lift it up a little bit, and connect the hoses. Okay, we're getting the tank in position. Okay. You don't want to run this hose yet. And you want to roll the tank back towards like this. So I can get up there and hook up those lines, those three lines. Okay. And then this bracket, I want to mention this bracket right here. Okay, it goes on with the tank. Okay, you got your 4 bolts. You don't want to put this bracket on at this time because you won't be able to get to your hoses. Okay, so it's more or less got to go together, and the bracket goes in here. Okay, and I think that's about it. You got to look where your strap goes. See, the strap goes right there. Now the strap doesn't go where this is. If you follow them, see the rubber. That's not where the strap goes. Okay, that's where it touches the frame. Although the front one is where the strap goes. Yep. See the little rubber is where the strap goes. Okay, so that's what we're going to do. We're going to hook up our hoses. Then we're going to take this one and run it. This small hose. Okay, we're going to run it. Should have some tape over this hole right here. You know that, huh? We're gonna, it's got to go to, if you see the big holes up here, it's got to go to this side, the back side, towards the back of the truck for that hose whenever I get ready to put it up there. Okay, so right now we're just gonna snap those 2 hoses in,
and clip that other one in. Okay, I can roll the tank by hand right here. See, I can easily roll. If this tank was half full of fuel, this would be hell. Empty your tank, I'm telling you. People fight and fight and fight. Get the gas out of the tank, however way you can. Okay, so once you get the tank, because you got that check valve stopping you from siphoning, but once you drop the tank, you can get a hose or something in here. You can get a hose in right here, and you can siphon the gas out. This would be a total nightmare if I had gas in it. I'm by myself too. Okay, so what I do is I have a jack here that I can go up and down, a little small jack. Okay, and I got a board, which I don't really need, but kind of distributes the weight, and I got a block back there. If you notice, it's on the back corner of the tank. That's so I can roll the tank this way. Of course, it's holding the tank. Now, once I start going up, once I got my hoses connected, I'll start going up. Once I get up, I'm gonna attach this hose and run this hose. Okay. Then I'm gonna work on the bracket, getting the bracket in. Like I said, I can't film it and do it at the same time, but I'll do it in sections and explain exactly what I'm doing, just like I'm doing here. Okay. So now we're gonna hook up these 3 lines and go from there. Okay, I got all the lines on. Now what you want to do is, the hardest one was actually the center one, was to get that clip to fit on there. So we got it. Okay. Now when you put the yellow one and the blue one in, you're gonna hear a click. Push hard until you hear the click. Pull on the hose. If it comes back out, it's not clicked in. Push it hard and pull hard, and if it comes right out, again, you're not clicked in. Just keep doing it till you hear it. You're gonna hear it click. It's not that hard. It clicked right in. Okay, next. This is gonna go in. Okay. This hose. Now remember, this hose goes to this side of the other hose. The big hose goes here. Okay. So we're gonna feed it through on top of the frame, and it's gonna be on the, like I said, it's gonna be to the back side of the hose that's gonna go here. So we're gonna run that. Then we're gonna connect this. Okay. We're gonna tighten it down. That's the filler. Now, of course, the filler's all unscrewed, so we got a lot of slack. All right. Then we're gonna start jacking it up, and we're gonna work on that front brace. If you don't want to fool with that front brace until you get all these hoses hooked up. All right. That's what we're doing next. Okay. We got the filler hose, all the lines hooked up, and over here, as you can see, we got that hose. Got those hoses all hooked up. Now, of course, the filler right here. My hand coming through it. The filler is on it right. That's not connected. I'm not going to do that until I get this bracket on. Okay. You see, I got the bracket in position. Okay, it's not coming through the thing. I just got to play with it and work with it. So all the hoses are hooked up. Okay, so all we got left, got the 2 straps to put on. Okay. Now we're going to have to fool around and line up that front strap. Okay, just going to be moving the tank around, jocking it around, and getting that strap to fit. And then the last thing will be the filler. I'm going to close that in and put gas in her. All right, we're going to put the straps on, and we'll get back with you. Okay, we're looking at, this is the bracket that goes in the front of the fuel pump. Oh, fuel tank cover, actually. This goes around the fuel tank. Okay. Now what we do, you want to hook this up first before you put the full bolts on. Okay, see the full bolts go in? Now you notice those lines? Okay. You want to move those lines so you don't crimp them when you push this bracket on and move these lines out of the way. Okay, so you see the holes where it goes. Okay, we definitely don't want to smash our lawns. Okay. Now, let me say this. This little strap, you see it goes under the fuel tank. I had a jack right there. Okay. I actually could have put that on the fuel tank when I had the fuel tank down. It might be a little easier if you do it when the fuel tank is down, but I was able to do it no problem. Okay. So we're not going to tighten it up. Okay. That's not going to be tightened up until we get these 4 bolts, these 4 studs. Get the lines out of the way, push the 4 studs in. We're going to put those on. Then we're going to tighten up the, last but not least, we're going to tighten up this and the back clamp. The back clamp is not on yet. Back strap, I should say. Okay. That's where we're at. Okay, we got the back strap started. It's in a good ways. It's not all the way tight. And like I showed you before, we got the front strap in. It's not tight. What we're going to do is we're going to tighten the front strap to the frame. Okay. And we're going to tighten up the front and the back strap. And that's going to be it. Okay. We just completed the fuel tank. Alright. Brand new fuel tank. Now we had to hook this up. And this is just two stars. And that just snaps in. Okay. So we're ready to put fuel in it. And don't forget the ground. There's a little ground wire under here. Right here. Okay. Fuel tank's in. All bolts are tight. All the hoses are on. All right. Put some fuel in it. Crank her up.